Hi, my name is Beth, and you're listening to the CannaFitness and Nutrition Podcast, where we are hanging out at the intersection of fitness, nutrition, and cannabis. Thank you so much for pressing play today, and again, welcome to 2026. We are here at CannaFit, and I'm going to start off this year talking about New Year's resolutions because it's January, right? And even if you're not like a resolution person, there's something about the start of a month, right? Or a start of a week or the start of a year that just feels like a clean place to begin being better, right? I know. I'm the same way. It's like old programming, but it never dies. And I still like a Monday, I still like a new week, I still like a new month, I still like a new year because it feels like a fresh start. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And I'm hoping that if you're in that place where you're about to start over Monday and you feel like you're trying to figure out what you're going to do. Are you going to cut sugar? Are you going to cut carbs? Are you going to skip meals to make up for what you've indulged in over the last few weeks? Are you going to add more workouts? Are you going to try to get more high intensity? Are you about to join Orange Theory? Are you about to sign up for another challenge, right? Or maybe you already did. I know it's already the 15th, but I'm hoping that if you're in this place, I can have your attention for a few minutes today, just to talk about my philosophy. If you're interested in a moderation approach, then that is what I teach. Because if you're that person and you're thinking, okay, you know what, on Monday, I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to go over to the gym and I'm going to join and get into all the hardest classes I can. And I'm going to really, buckle down this year. If you're in that mindset and it's not your first time in that mindset, right? If you happen to do this like maybe twice a year or maybe every January, and it never works, and you're like, I think I just don't have any willpower, or this isn't the year, or everybody got sick and I fell off, so I'll just start over next year. And maybe you're thinking, okay, this is the year I'm actually gonna do it. It's really gonna happen. I have willpower this year. It's all gonna work out great and it's all gonna go fantastic. Even though every other time you tried to do this, it hasn't. There's hope, right? You have hope. But I wanna introduce maybe a different way of thinking that might help you get past that hurdle this year of feeling like you lost your willpower or feeling like you never built discipline, right? I want to be very direct and honest with you, right? I want you to hear this. I've been a personal trainer for almost 2 decades, and I have seen some trends over the years, right? What works, I know what works, I know what doesn't work, and I can tell you that the reason that the New Year's resolutions don't stick, or that starting over Monday isn't going to get you very far, is because you don't actually need to do more or work harder or eat less. It's probably because your nervous system is overwhelmed. Right? Now, if you've been on social media, you've been hearing a lot about nervous system regulation, right? It's definitely a buzzword right now. It's definitely a trend. And as much as I cringe about hopping onto a trend, it's actually true. It's actually true. This is actually what's happening is, and this is, part of the evolution of society and the fact that we do have social media and the fact that science is shared more and it's relatable. And so it has come to like most of our attention that our nervous systems are completely fried. And that is what's holding us back from being healthy, being fit, being abundant, being motivated, all of those things. It's nervous system. And when I say nervous system, I'm really talking about basically your stress resilience, right? Because the nervous system is what controls your energy, your state of being, whether you're in a stress state or whether you're in a calm state. And if you've been following along with this nervous system talk, then the regulation talk, you know that we're talking a lot about being in that fight or flight mode, which is a survival mode, or freeze mode. There's also fawn. There's some other modes, versus being in what they call a regulated state, which is calm and chill, and you don't feel like you're just running on fumes, right? So let's talk about that in context of CannaFit, right? In terms of our fitness, our nutrition, and our cannabis, right? Let me paint the picture for you. You know the cycle, right? January hits, you start strong. You go to the gym. You track your food. You're doing everything right. But then life happens, right? Work explodes, it gets crazy. Someone gets sick that you have to take care of or work around. Your sleep starts to get sacrificed. You start to feel that just creep up of stress, right? It's quiet, but it's there. So what happens? Maybe it's been a few weeks, maybe it's been a few months, and you've been at the gym hitting those classes. And when this stress starts to creep in because of these things, these circumstances, the gym starts to become inconsistent, right? You start skipping, you start missing days. You have other priorities come up. You start to maybe skip meals and think that maybe it's not so important that you eat breakfast because you're not going to get to the gym, so you might as well just lose a few calories at the same time, right? Or you get so busy that you start to skip lunch because you didn't put any thought into it, and it's easier just not to eat it than to deal with it, right? You tell yourself you'll eat later. But then nighttime comes, and you're starving, and you want to eat your left arm, but you can't, so you eat everything in sight. Or you stop at the store, and instead of going straight for the prepared healthy food, like a piece of meat and some vegetables, you go straight for the chips, and you buy all the chips because you're starving, and you eat way more than you intended to. And then you feel puffy, you feel gross, you feel inflamed, and you feel exhausted, right? So you have these few good days, maybe a few good weeks, and then you have these off days. They come in because, again, life gets crazy and you have to juggle these other demands, and things fall off the rails and things aren't going like they quote unquote need to for you to be able to get to the gym and eat healthy, right? So you have some good days and you have some off days, and the scale just doesn't move. And you assume that you're the problem. You start thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stay consistent? This was so much easier before children. This was so much easier when I was 20. This was so much easier when I was single. Why is this so much harder? And you start questioning yourself. Is it my hormones? Is it me? What am I doing wrong? Am I just weak? Am I just don't have any willpower? Am my body aging now? Are my hormones out of whack? Like all these things that you think could be the problem. And it's actually not you, right? Here's what's happening, right? Your nervous system is dysregulated. When you get into stress mode and you start to skip your healthy priorities, you start to live in that fight or flight, we call it mode, the survival mode, where you're just go, 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 running on fumes, can't take a breath, feel like there's not enough time in the day. You're running from thing to thing, bending over backwards, and you are skipping meals and skipping workouts, and things are just not on track. That's a dysregulated nervous system, right? You're feeling stress and it's affecting your habits, right? That is you being in a dysregulated nervous system state. Now, if you've been following along social media with this nervous system talk, then you probably have already self-identified that you're dysregulated, right? It's really common. I can tell you the moments that I'm dysregulated. I can tell you when I'm regulated. So it's becoming, I feel like we're becoming more aware, which is a great thing, right? It's a great thing. But here's the important part. When you're in fight or flight mode, or even freeze mode, when you're in those survival modes, this is your body thinking that it's running from a tiger. Your body, your brain, doesn't understand the difference between you running from a tiger in the early centuries and you running from your email in 2026, right? It doesn't know the difference. It feels the same amount of stress because it thinks that you're not giving it food, you're frozen into this, go mode, and your body thinks that it's stuck there, right? So it shuts down. A dysregulated nervous system cannot lose weight. Not because it's broken, but because it's busy keeping you alive. So when your days look like you've chronic stress, go, from meetings to activities to responsibilities, undereating during the day because you think you're being good by packing a sad salad for lunch, skipping meals, not planning lunch. Not planning to eat lunch is just as bad as intentionally skipping it. You're basically saying you're gonna skip it. If you're not planning to eat lunch, you're basically saying you're gonna skip lunch, right? I see people on social media like post pictures of their sad salad for lunch and I just cringe because I'm like, that person's just gonna overeat tonight because they didn't eat enough during the day, right? These are signals. And then overeating at night, right? Being snacky, having a lot of cravings, sporadic exercise, especially sporadic high intensity exercise, your body sees that as danger. This is fight or flight mode, sometimes freeze mode. Either way, you're in survival. And in survival mode, your body holds on. It holds on to water. It holds on to weight. It holds on to tension. It holds on to food. Not because you're weak, not because you lack discipline, but because your system is trying to protect you. This is why pushing harder stops working, why skipping meals backfires, why willpower feels like it disappeared. It didn't. Your capacity did. Let me make this real. One of the most common patterns I see looks like this. A woman starts her day with coffee and maybe a protein shake. Lunch gets pushed because she's busy. She tells herself, I'll eat later. It's 3:30. She's shaky, irritable, foggy, and could eat anything. By night, she's standing in the kitchen thinking, why do I have no control around food? I can't stop eating these chips. And she assumes the problem is willpower. But what actually happened is super simple. She ran on stress hormones all day, giving her fake energy, right? But never gave her body real fuel and then expected a calm decision making to happen at night. That's not discipline failure. That's just your body you're trying to trick your body into thinking it's calm, and it's not. You can't make calm decisions from a body in survival mode. So if you're like most of the women I work with, you already know what to do. That's the thing. You know how to eat better, and that's why it doesn't work, is because that's not what you need to do. You think it is. You know movement helps. You think you need to go to the gym, and you do need to go to the gym. And you know that stress isn't helping, but yet workouts become the last priority because there are so many competing priorities. Meals are an afterthought because you're just trying to survive the day. Let's be honest. If you're working full time, if you have children or family responsibilities on top of a full-time job or even a part-time job, your day is full, right? In fact, everybody's day is full. And so you don't realize, you may not even realize you haven't eaten until you're shaky and ravenous. Nights feel out of control around food. You're craving constantly. You sit in front of the TV and you just snack and you go back and forth to the kitchen looking for different snacks. And then Monday rolls around and you plan to restart. You have good intentions to sit down on Sunday and plan, but the weekend disappears into errands, family, and exhaustion. This is not because you're inconsistent, broken, or lazy. It's because your nervous system never had enough support for long enough to learn safety around the healthy habits, right? We haven't created safety around the exercise and the healthy eating. So your body sees this all as danger. None of this feels safe to your body. So this is what I see happen. I see someone comes up with a new gym membership. Great. They join the gym. They have maybe they bought a fresh workout plan online. Awesome. They join Weight Watchers. That's a big one. And they're like, oh, I found this account on Instagram and it's so motivating, right? But this is the mistake, is you think that the new membership, the Weight Watchers, the motivation, the new plan, the new shoes are going to override years of chronic stress, years of underfueling from diet culture, decision fatigue from managing everything and everyone, and years of pushing through instead of being supported. You can't expect joining Weight Watchers to fix years of your own stress and chronic underfueling. You need support. You need to understand how to regulate your nervous system and get that in a regulated state first, because weight moves when your system feels safe, not pressured. Many of my clients are former athletes, right? Runners, soccer players, CrossFitters, hikers, climbers, MMA people. My clients have done it all. So they're used to training hard, eating light, bouncing back quickly. And when their body stops responding, they think, oh my gosh, I used to be so disciplined and now I'm not. This is crazy. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I hear that a lot. But what actually changed isn't the motivation, it's nervous system capacity. When you used to be a runner, or you used to do CrossFit, or you used to climb, whatever it is, you were a different person, right? If that was years ago, you were a different person. You had different life circumstances. Now, what you're living now is you're trying to be healthy on top of your work stress, on top of your family responsibilities, on top of hormonal shifts, on top of years of under eating. So the same intensity that once worked now leaves you inflamed, exhausted, and heavier. That's not aging. That's cumulative stress. So I've kind of made a shift this year, and I'm not really identifying as a personal trainer anymore. God, I love movement. I really do. I'm passionate about movement. I think the body's fascinating. I love coming up with different ways to challenge it and to find the weak link. That's always exciting to me. But it's not enough. It's not enough to help you. You need more than just a personal trainer. And, I can count your reps. Sure. That's not true. I can't even count the reps. I'm not even good at that part. But my point is that the personal training isn't what fixes people. It's what we actually do. And this is what I love about what I do, is the conversations that help high achieving women stop fighting with their bodies and start supporting them, right? We've got to interrupt the under eating, overeating cycle, right? So many people come to me and they are that skipping lunch, not planning. Again, if you're not planning lunch, you're skipping it, right? You've got to figure out a way to eat. And this is what we do though. I'm not just saying go do that. I'm saying we sit down and we strategize, like how, what, when, what does that look like? Taking lunch is important. Feeding yourself is important, because if you're not, you're setting yourself up for overeating later. Right? We regulate the nervous system. A lot of times, just coming for a workout regulates my clients' nervous systems, right? It's magical. Movement regulates, and that's part of why I love it so much. My program right now that I'm really excited about is where I meet with a client twice a week, right? So if you're looking for a good transformation, if you need help with nervous system regulation, movement, food, cannabis, all the things, what is really working for people right now is meeting twice a week. We meet one to talk, coaching session, planning, strategizing, and we meet one to work out. So we do a 45-minute workout and you get personal training, so you get the movement that you need, but it also regulates you. So you're getting a sense of what regulation feels like. And we can always continue conversations while we work out too. I just like having dedicated talking time, because sometimes the workouts get so detailed into the movement that we just don't have time to talk about other things. So anyway, inside my work, we interrupt the cycles, we regulate the nervous system, we choose movement that stabilizes you instead of punishes you. So I'm not the person that's gonna come and have you do a high intensity workout, leaving you throwing up on the side of the road, or telling you that you have to go do, run all these miles or take all these things that you're not gonna enjoy, right? We find movement that you enjoy doing, because that's how I work out. And honestly, again, over the years, I've learned a few things. Over the years, people that stick with it are the ones that are enjoying what we're doing, whatever that is, right? It looks different for different people, but if people don't enjoy it, they don't come back. And we address the patterns underneath the behavior, not just the behavior itself, right? And yes, this is why cannabis is part of the work, is because cannabis regulates. It gets blamed so unfairly, right? Someone will say, I do fine all day, and then when I come home and I use cannabis, I eat everything, right? But when we look closer, she skipped lunch, right? So she's missing a meal. She worked out. She managed to squeeze that in, but she sat in meetings all day and she ignored her hunger. So again, she skipped lunch. So of course she's going to overeat at night because she's missing fuel and her body's going to tell her. Cannabis doesn't cause overeating. It reveals the hunger and the nervous system exhaustion she's already in. Right? So if we stabilize the food earlier in the day, regulate the stress, and then use cannabis intentionally, the urgency disappears, enjoyment stays, control returns. Because cannabis isn't about checking out. It's about bringing your system back into balance. It does support stress regulation, mood and anxiety, sleep, digestion, pain, menopause, perimenopause symptoms, and most importantly, willingness and flexibility. But when used intentionally, meaning you are also controlling what you're eating, you're controlling your movement, you're regulating your nervous system, you're doing all of these things. It's a tool in the toolbox. It's a pretty freaking awesome tool, I'm gonna say. And finding the right dose, of course. Right? So when your nervous system is calm, behavior changes become possible, right? You're not forcing it. You're not having to hold on tight and try to be good. You're not white knuckling, they call it, but it's sustainable. So that is what we're focusing on in CannaFit this year, is cannabis, movement, coaching, regulation, stress management, because this is what creates the follow through. This is what gets you through the whole month of January. This is what gets you through the whole winter and the whole spring, so that when work gets crazy and someone gets sick and life gets out of hand, and you're telling yourself, I just need to try harder. I know I should be able to do this. I don't want another plan, but you're not following through and you're not losing weight. That's just a signal. It's not that you're failing. You're not lacking anything but support, right? You're not lacking anything but support, right? You just need support. And this is why good days, being good, doesn't fix the problem. Because you can eat perfectly for 3 days, but if your nervous system is still feeling unsafe, your body doesn't trust that, right? So your body's not going to say, oh, she's being good, let's drop some pounds, because your body is also currently freaking out because it's thinking, why isn't she feeding me? Your body's like, is there a tiger around the corner that we don't know about, right? Your body is in this state of, freeze or fight or flight. It cannot drop weight when it's in that stress state. So the most important thing you can do is really take a look at where the stress is, what it's doing, how it's impacting you, right? Regulation isn't about being perfect. It's about being in safety. It's about making your brain, your body, think that you are safe. And that comes from calm. And if you don't know how to do calm, then I'm here to help you. If you're listening to this and thinking, okay, this explains a few things, then you're not late, you're not broken, you're not failing. You've just been trying to change your habits from a system that's already overwhelmed. And that can change. If you want to talk through whether this is the right starting point for you, just reach out. I'd love to talk to you about it. You can email me. I am Beth at CannaFitnessNutrition.com. I hang out mostly on Instagram, where I'm Beth _CannaFitnessNutrition. I would love to talk to you about this and how this works, because it's a big deal. It's a major shift, and it's easier than you think, right? It's actually easier than trying to be good all the time, because being good when you're in fight or flight mode and you're dysregulated is really hard, right? It's really, really freaking hard. But when you do it from a calm state, it's actually really freaking easy. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that this made sense for you. If you're still kind of confused and would like some clarification, again, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to talk this through. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to be a coach. I'm here to be a support. Like I said, I'm not identifying as a personal trainer so much anymore, because a lot of what I do is truly just support. It's supportive. Yes, we can do movement. Yes, we can do nutrition, and yes, we can do cannabis, but it's the support and having you regulate and get to a place where you can make these decisions from a calm state. That's what's going to move the needle. So, as always, thank you so much for pressing play today. I appreciate you being here. If this was helpful and you want to rate, what do they say? Rate, subscribe, and share. Yeah, I think those are the things. Then go ahead. If you pass it along, if this would be helpful to someone. If you have any other things you'd like me to talk about on the podcast, then I would love to hear that. Again, email me, catch me on Instagram, and I will see you next time.